truck getting hit multiple times coming out of that bike section. More drivers coming to blows.
Greetings, race fans, and buckle up for Sim Racers Group Formula 3 racing on SMB. JR Gregory here with you on the call and welcoming the newest member of our slow motion broadcasting family, my partner, Jeremy Scott, covering for Charles Boshell this evening. And last but not least, twisting our knobs and pushing our buttons this evening, our producer, Joshua Wilkie. And for week 11 of SRG F3, we travel south out of New York State all the way down to Georgia and Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. And this track, of course, located outside Brazelton, Georgia. First race out here was a Can-Am event back in the fall of 1970 with Vic Elford on the pole. If you're a Porsche fanboy such as myself, that name is going to ring a bell for you. But over the past 55 years, Road Atlanta has played host to Formula 5000, Camel GT, Trans Am, SCCA runoffs, along with a busy slate of amateur track days. And the main event, of course, is the IMSA 10-hour Petit Le Mans, which just took place in October. Today's configuration, 2.5 miles, 4 clicks, 12 corners. Current track record, a 107.056. set in 2008 by Christian Klein in a Peugeot LMP1 car. And if you're curious, the current LMDH record in a Cadillac, about 2 seconds off of that time. So, Jeremy, you cannot think about Road Atlanta without thinking about that big draft down the back straight, epic battles into turn 10. So, what are your thoughts about what we're going to see out here tonight?
Well, you know, with the F3 cars, it's going to be mayhem, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, I hope that we see 15 cars in a straight line and jockeying for position. But, you know, I've got to say this. First of all, it's great to be here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. Been watching you guys from afar. I'm really excited to finally be a part of the team. Second of all, why can't we go back to the old configuration where you just have that straight shot for the back straightaway all the way down through what is now turn 12. But it's very cool to see. But fun story, my first experience at Road Atlanta was with a regional touring series, and lo and behold, the Aston Martin LMP1 team was actually testing before they went down to Sebring. And yes, they had all their European equipment, including the MAN truck, so that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you haven't seen that Valkyrie in person, you should go out of your way to make that happen. I saw that thing out on Laguna Seca, and the sound was epic. But taking a look right now at Jason Green as our 1 hour qualifying session winding down here, less than 2 minutes to go to set the grid for our initial heat race. But I'll tell you, I spent some time out here in these cars earlier today, and they are absolutely fantastic. I'm a GT3 driver by trade, and the biggest adjustment for me coming out of a GT3 into one of these is confidence at the abilities that they have. Right here is a great example. The hammer is down right there. You're full throttle, running it through the gears all the way down into turn 1. And when you get to turn 1, what can be a little sketchy in a sports car, just a little lift, drop it down into 5th, and then full on the power up the hill around turn 1, and that entry to turn 3, thrilling as well. Very fast in 4th gear, and really uses the downforce where a GT car kind of lightens up over that crest there. These things are glued, and it is an absolute thrill to hit that corner correctly.
Well, and you have to stop and figure. This is the first step on the ladder where you really have to take into account aerodynamics, your F4s, your F2000s. Yeah, they're there, but they're just, they're there for aesthetics for the most part. You do get a little bit of aerodynamics. This is the step on the ladder where you really get the aerodynamics that come into play. By the way, real quick, you're talking about Valkyrie. Had a chance to listen to it twice. Once at Sebring, that was the first time I heard it in person. But we got to listen to it go down the straightaway at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You want awesome for a V12, you've got it right there.
Yeah, fantastic car, and obviously working the bugs out. They're not at the front of the field yet, but it is great that they have brought that thing over to the U.S. for us IMSA fans to drool over it every IMSA race weekend. And as qualifying winding down here, no surprises. Stephen Case at the top of the grid as usual. In fact, we got Case from Green from Poborgi will start in podium positions for your heat race, and Case, Green, and Poborgi between them own over 20 of the podium positions through 10 races. So Case's dominance that was interrupted only by an aberrant outing at Olton Park is rolling forward. But there is your lineup. It's going to be Case lined up next to Jason Green in row 1. Danush Poborgi will line up next to Adam Thompson. Shout out to Adam. Slow motion racing there in P4. Adrian Lopez will line up next to Josh Leslie. Velasco next to Borden. Maroon Bali next to Josh Corwin in row 5. Then it's Jason Cotcher next to Justin Snyder. And one little quick scroll, that'll be Novice next to Lebivi in 13 and 14, bringing up the rear, Jacob Guyton. And this one is going to be fantastic, man. I had such a good time in these cars out here at Road Atlanta. It is a great car track combination, and we've got not one but 2 races here for you on Slow Motion Broadcasting. A 15-minute heat, which will set the order for the 25-minute feature. So lots of action out here. We'll let you know when to hit the fridge for beers between races, but really looking forward to a good one here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers take turn 1, especially because the tires aren't going to be that warm yet. So we'll see what happens. You look at the domination the Case has had so far this season. No surprise that he is up there on the pole. So we get ready for the rest of the green. I think we just got a couple more drivers waiting to grid up, but I think once we get that, we'll get started with this heat race.
Yeah, looks like Thompson and Guyton holding up the show right now. If they don't grid up, iRacing is going to force the start here in about 10 seconds, and that is Case in the 243 car. Blue car nose ahead and with the inside line into turn one. And as is always the case when you're behind Stephen Case, it is going to be the job of Green and Pogorji not to let Case drive away. They got to be with him when he comes onto that pit straight and when he goes onto that back straight, so that he doesn't have a Stephen Case track day. And a great jump off the green by Jason Green, who is right there with Case. It's Case from Green. From Pogorji, looks like Lopez, Leslie Velasco have jumped up. Looks like Adam Thompson had a problem off the start. He is down 6, running in P10 currently, but a very clean start here, and we're underway at Road Atlanta.
But he's already made up one spot right now as he went around Varun Bali, I should say. But unfortunately, that start kind of gave him a little bit of a gap. Who else gets a gap? Old Stephen Case heads down off of turn number 5 as Pogorji trying to close in, looking to the inside. And if I'm Pogorji, I'm going to catch up with Green, so that way we can both catch up to Case. So far, so good. So we work our way onto the back straightaway for the first time at speed in this 15-minute race. And yeah, single file condition. So everybody kind of feeling out their cars as they work for the first time all together.
Yeah, and Case had a pretty good jump off the start there, but unable to get away. And looking at our timing tower, you can see that draft going to work. It's Case from Green, from Pogorji into turn 10A. And I'm going to say that this is probably the second most important corner on the track to get 10A and 10B right. That is your run down the pit straight and up the hill into turn 1. And so far, so good. Little side-by-side action right there. And man, oh man, speaking of GT3 cars, you would not see a lot of side-by-side action there in those. But these cars really easily can use all kinds of lines through some of these higher speed corners. This car really spectacular out there as we ride along with Cotcher across that tough turn 3, just a nibble of the apex curbing down the snake. And another critical corner down here, Jeremy, turn 5 can be violent as you see the cars bouncing over the bumps. You kind of have to go over the rough stuff to get a hot lap here, and it is risky to do it lap after lap.
You see how the GT cars handle over, especially the prototypes, but you're dealing with a car that's a lot lower, and plus, you know, your butt's probably maybe a millimeter off the top of that floor in good settings. So that kind of gives you a case on how some of these cars will handle it as Pogorji goes side by side with Green, takes a position heading into turn 10A and now into 10B. And yeah, like you said, this is one of those areas where it's very vital to get a good lap, especially here since you're flat out all the way into turn 1. And yeah, now the draft is going to come into play for Jason Green as he tries to get that second place back. But Stephen Case has already opened up. Holy cow, fastest lap of the race, 14.589.
Yeah, Case has lit the wick already on tires that are still not completely warmed up and a full fuel load. And my gosh, I was feeling pretty good when I got down to 115 flat out here earlier today. And that just showing this talent that these guys have out here. And Case got to be loving his relative right now. He's opened up that gap behind Pogorji to over a second. So Pogorji will be outside of draft range here, assuming Case gets a good exit out of this critical turn 7. And he does. It looks like that gap is going to hover right around 9/10. And Pogorji somehow has dropped Jason Green to the tune of about 8 or 9/10 as well. So a little draft train that I was kind of expecting to form up front here between these 3 leaders, not really happening right now, and things unfolding just the way Case wanted as he begins to drive off with 3 minutes down.
Yeah, it's just tough to try and stay in the draft when you have a driver just as good as Stephen Case up at the front. Now, I was looking at the last lap times. Pogorji a good half second faster than Jason Green, and now Pogorji gets the fastest lap of the race, 14.444. In spite of that, he's still losing time to Stephen Case. And of course, that is part and parcel to the fact that, yeah, you may be running the faster lap time, but if you're not running the optimal line around here, you will get dropped, especially here in the S's where you've got to be committed 100% of the time. To see Josh Leslie, and that's what we're talking about, going just a little bit wide.
Yeah, very, very tough there. There's a choice there coming out of the snake into that exit of turn 5. You can take it way wide or pinch it off a little bit. The middle part of that exit, extremely bumpy and can definitely toss these F3 cars right off the track. And curiously, man, I really was kind of expecting a little bit more of a draft train here, but the interval's opening up here. And taking a look at Lebivy, it looks like he's towing, or I'm sorry, that's Cotcher towing Snyder and Lebivy there down that back straightaway. And Cotcher tries to cover the inside here with Lebivy sneaking around the outside and gets that pass done. Classic move through 10A and 10B here at Road Atlanta. Well done by Daniel.
Yeah, and of course that battle's not done yet as Lebivy trying to hold off Cotcher just a little bit. Cotcher with the nose out front. Lebivy trying to lose him through turn 1, but Snyder is there, so can't go any faster. That gives Cotcher a chance to really get out in front, and these three now are in a little bit of a loose condition through turn 2 is Lebivy. Man, he thought he had it there for a second, JR, but he's going to lose this. Look, he's getting a little wiggly there through the S's.
Yeah, Cotcher there, obviously awash in adrenaline after pulling her off that epic outside move around turn 1. And take another look at it right now as Lebivy will cover the inside with Snyder sniffing around behind, and Cotcher with the tail hanging out just a little bit there gets that pass done on the ragged edge and puts some extra heat in those rear tires. Goes a little wide in the grass, but hangs on to that position. Great move of the race so far by Jason Cotcher.
Well, Joshua Corwin's been in the pits the past couple of laps, and that's what we're talking about. You got to be careful here on some of these corners. You just hit that rumble strip just enough, and you're going to damage 1, maybe 2 corners. So here's the onboard replay, and just hits the curbing at the wrong time, wrong point, and bam, there we go. There's at least 1 corner knocked off, so his race is effectively over as Cotcher trying to catch up to Snyder, but Stephen Case, it's been all 2:43 all day long as we're almost 7 minutes into this 15-minute race. Tell you what, if this is Case's championship to lose, because there's no stopping him so far as he works his way through the back part of the course.
Yeah, Case has got an absolute death grip on that championship in both the individual and team. We'll get to those points in the break between events here, but yeah, Corwin showing there what I was talking about, that exit at turn 5. You either take it very wide or pinch it off. The middle path there is the danger zone. You saw it bite Corwin there, and here comes Adam Thompson getting some work done. We saw him get that bad start trying to claw his way back up, and that move, I don't know if he had a twofer there or not, but that move's going to put him up into P6, only 2 positions off of his qualifying position after a very rough start.
Yeah, just a rough start all around for a couple of these drivers, but Velasco trying his best to get around board in there for that 7th spot and lose a little bit of ground through the S's, and that's going to happen because you're going to have that turbulent air that you really have to manage going into turn 1. But everybody's starting to string out just a little bit. Not too many battles that we're watching. Have a little bit of replay. Here's Adam Thompson 3 wide near the back of near the back stretch, heading into turn number 9, and that's tough to do going into turn 10, especially because you do want to pop out because there is a little bit of a line there. But as you saw Velasco go back there, he decided, you know what, it's just better off to stay out of the rubber because there's a ton of it there going into turn 10.
Yeah, great work by Thompson there. It looked like he did pick up a twofer on that back straight, and that may not be the last time we see a move like that. And Thompson definitely can wheel these things. He has not been a full season attendee, but when he gets out here, he has the toolkit to give people like Green, Case, and Poborgi a run for their money. And looks like there is a move coming onto the front straight. Looks like that is Lopez. Maybe. Who are we riding with? Oh, yeah, that was Josh Leslie getting through Lopez right there, coming onto the back straight. So nice move by Leslie. Leslie in his first season here in F3, finally getting his feet under him, had a podium finish a couple of races ago. So Leslie living up to the high expectations that he brought along with him when he made the step from F4 up into this F3 league here for Sim Racers Group.
And Leslie, it was interesting to see him make that little defensive move there, as now Adam Thompson's knocking at the door to get into the top 5. All right, David Borden also with some issues. Looks like it's going to be a turn 1 incident. And yeah, a little bit of contact there. That's going to happen, of course, losing parts of the, I think that's the engine cowling that he lost part of there, but no, the side pod, I'm sorry. But yeah, a little bit of contact ends his race. And that was a 777 of Alex Velasco. They were battling there for 7th place. And as far as Velasco didn't get any damage, but you know, that's the case sometimes when you're racing side by side and you take contact. Yeah, you'll take the 2 or 4X depending on what iRacing is going to give you, but you'll get away without getting any damage. Man, this Thompson-Lopez battle, JR, just keeps getting better and better each and every lap. We see Lopez last time by didn't get the defensive line that he did because Thompson tried to pop out, but he is just so good through the S's.
Yeah, Thompson smacking his lips right now. It's one of the closer intervals that we have on the track, although Lopez able to stretch him out a little bit there on the entry to turn 1. That interval was about 4/10, and Lopez able to stretch it out some, but Thompson still looking at about 0.7 ahead. Gets a little loose there in turn 7 coming onto the back straight. Is that going to cost him? No, and we'll take a look at that interval, see that whether or not that slipstream is going to go to work, and I don't really see that interval dropping, so the sweet spot to get a tow may be kind of in that 0.5 to 0.6 range. Thompson not benefiting that time down.
It's okay. English is hard. I get it. You know, it's like I always like to say, I went into broadcasting not to have to do math, but I still do it anyway. Yeah, this Lopez Thompson battle, the best battle of the race, because you see the gap between Case and Paborgi. It's 1.7 seconds. And you go back to Jason Green, another 2 seconds behind Paborgi. And there you go. There's Josh Leslie. Not too far away from there's Adrian Lopez and Adam Thompson. I got to say, if I'm Adam Thompson, I'm following Lopez's tire tracks, because during the feature, if you can climb up, you've got to use the S's to really get going.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the difficult challenges out here that I found is that this track really relies on timing of throttle application. You got to be confident that you're going to have the grip and put the power down as early as possible. Right here being one of those spots, as you see Adam Thompson right on cue, getting a little camera shy there, having a hard time putting the power down, and Lopez is going to drive off. He is loving what he's seeing in his rearview mirror. Thompson fighting for grip in that F3 car, and that is the last close battle that we have on the grid with about 2.5 minutes remaining. And it's Case from Paborgi, from Green, from Leslie, from Adrian Lopez in your top 5. And barring some kind of cataclysm right now, these drivers are just going to want to tick off their laps, get this one finished up, take a breather, and get ready for the future.
Exactly. Get out there, see what your car needs, and then during the heat, during the warm up, I should say, take those setups that you had and see if they're going to work. And Snyder, one of those drivers who's putting all the pieces together. See what I did there? The Lego car. As he's gotten away from Jason Cotcher for that 9th spot. Let's see what his lap time is. He just ran his personal best at a 15:01.3, but when you've got the leaders running, mid to low 14s, that's going to make life just a little bit difficult here in this feature race.
Yeah, and some pretty good times coming out here. Case has broken that 114 barrier, and these drivers being treated to some fairly kind conditions. Our track temperature only about 73 right now. Can get roasting hot and very, very greasy out here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. So some great conditions for racing as we take a look at Stephen Case. And is he going to get the white this time? I'm going to say no. So penultimate lap coming around right now with Case enjoying about a 1.5-second interval. And yeah, sometimes, I don't know about you, man, but sometimes I find it more difficult to drive alone up front. Not that it happens frequently. It has happened once or twice, though, than to drive with the target in front of you. It's kind of tough to keep the pace, kind of tough to keep your concentration if you're not chasing anybody.
It really is. And, that's when your mind just wanders. It thinks, okay, well, what if I do this? What do I do that? Oh, no, now I've got to wheel off. So, that's something to think about. But, Case has really shown so far that it doesn't matter if he's, the chaser or the chasee. He's been able to just dominate and stay focused. And that's what some of these top racers, they do. They're just that good at it. So we'll see if anything happens here in the next, for the next race, to say the least. Looks like Adam Thompson's close within a half second of Adrian Lopez now for 5th spot as they're going down the back straightaway. Once again, about 2 to 3 car lengths separate those two drivers, and Thompson really able to close there in the braking zone. But is that going to be enough? He's going to have enough to catch up as Lopez gets into the slipstream. Now the battle is afoot as look at Thompson get underneath Lopez just a little bit, but Lopez has the line going into turn 1. Not going to make it happen as Thompson takes a position in 1.
Yeah, Thompson showing his racecraft there. It looked like he backed off there for a little while. He might have been kind of relaxing his tires, letting the temps come back under control and saving that move for the last lap. This is the white flag lap. Adam Thompson getting it done when he needed to, and that will put him up into P5. Of course, he's still one off his qualifying position after that rough starting sequence, but he's got to be pretty happy with his recovery drive, and it looks like that car is feeling pretty good underneath Thompson out here at Road Atlanta, and he is going to have something for the leaders when the feature gets underway.
He really is as Stephen Case comes down to turn number 10. By the way, Vroom Bali went off course and took a tow into the pits, but nonetheless, it's a lights the flag victory for the 243 of Stephen Case, taking the checker flag, winning the heat race. Danush Pabjori not too far away, 1.5 seconds behind. Jason Green runs out your podium.
Yeah, the frequent flyers up front, Case, Green, and Paborgi, they have been 1, 2, 3 in various combinations numerous times over the season. So their mastery of this league and of this F3 car will continue. And as we wait for the rest of the field to come through, here comes Cotcher with Lebivi behind. Those two had some good fighting out there. Here comes Jose Navas, and remainder of our grid. It looks like Borden is a lap down, and a couple of these cars bend here in the heat. Pretty unusual to see that, and hopefully those drivers are going to take a breath and kind of gain their composure and get ready to keep it clean in the feature race, because you don't want to pack it in the second race. Kind of gives you a chance for redemption if you have a problem in the heat. So we'll be keeping an eye on those drivers with some work to do.
It really does. And of course, you take this first race, and like we said, you see what the car needs. If it needs a little bit more, you go in there, make the tweaks, and then, that's when you focus forward. But it's going to be interesting to see how exactly everybody can just catch up to Stephen Case, because he's just that good throughout the season. And there were some great, in spite of having a runaway lead, JR, we had some great battles to watch all throughout the field.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And that's the beauty of this league and these drivers. We're always going to have something going on somewhere up and down the grid. You can be battling for P1, battling for P10, and it is close, intense, and respectful driving. And once again, once we get this one underway, it is going to be the job of those top drivers close to Stephen Case to stay with him in the early going, not to let him get away, because once he gets outside of that 1 second interval, he is going to drive off, as you saw him do in the heat. So while we wait for the warm-up session to get underway here, it is a brief 3-minute warm-up. So if you need to run to the fridge, take a bio break, get it done, because you're not going to want to miss 1 minute of the action once this feature race gets underway. But Josh, let's go ahead and spool up those points, and we'll review that for the folks during the warm-up. And in any second, there they are. And there are our championship standings through 11 races. And Stephen Case has got this one in the bag, folks. Over 100 point lead over Jason Green in P2. Case absolutely dominant out here. And I'll tell you, if you know anybody that's good at these F3 cars and can give Case something to do in these races, send them on over. Great group of guys, some fantastic racing, and a fantastic league. It's highly recommended. So if you know anybody, send them our way and give Case some action up front. But anyways, Case from Green, from Poborgi is your top three. Then Braun, Pauly, Chris Eggert looking good there. He has climbed down the stretch up into P5. Josh Corwin too has performed very well down the stretch. De Silva, Cotcher, Navas, and Adrian Lopez will round out the top 10. And if you look at those intervals, I mean, my goodness, particularly around, look at Navas sitting in P9, 2 points back to Lopez, another handful of points back to Wang, Leslie, and Duvall. So this one not over in the least, and a lot of these positions will be settled finally next week in the season finale. So you're not going to want to miss that. And there is the rest of your field. Obviously, the field thinning a little bit here in week 11, and with Thanksgiving tomorrow, might be a little light on cars, but we've had a great field and some great competition here in the second ever season of Sim Racers Group Formula 3. Here are your team results, and as you might expect, just as in the individual results, that is the L10 racing team featuring Case and Van Wagner with a stranglehold on P1. Then it's JGGS, Green, and Snyder, who's my teammate with Poborgi and Dillon. Dad Tax Racing Team with Corwin and Lopez. They have moved up 2. Then it's Lububu in P5. And here is your grid for the 25-minute feature. It is Case next to Poborgi in row 1. Green next to Leslie. Thompson will line up next to Adrian Lopez in row 3. Velasco next to Snyder in 7 and 8. Cotcher next to Lebivi in 9 and 10. Navas next to Braun, Pauly in row 6. Then it's Borden next to Corwin and Jacob Guyton bringing up the rear. And keep your eye on a couple of those drivers in the back. Borden, Corwin, and Guyton. And Pauly and Navas, actually, all of those drivers quite quick here. A couple of them had problems, and they are going to want to make moves here early while the cars are close together, packed up here off the start, and make up for their rough performance in the heat race. But about 1 minute for the start, and looking forward to a good one here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, I am too. And of course, watching drivers take different lines. Oh, we had a jump start as Guyton joins the field. Green flag is out. That was interesting. We'll see what happens here with the race director. But there's Stephen Case once again opening up another commanding lead so far through turn number 1. As we got a couple of side-by-side battles there. Looks like Green and Leslie in a battle, and Snyder trying to catch up to Lopez, but holding off Cotcher as everybody starts to go single file through the S's.
My goodness, and that one caught me a little bit off start. That one starting very quickly there, as you saw. And Thompson's race is over before it begins. He jumped that start, and that is going to be a drive-through at a minimum. So while Thompson had high hopes to get up there with Case, Poborgi, and Green and bring him something, which he definitely has pace. He has the racecraft, but he has been called in by the stewards for a drive-through at a minimum. Thompson's race over just as quickly as it begins, and much like the first lap last time through here, Case has some company. He's got Poborgi and Green right there with him, and an early crash there. That is Velasco and Josh Leslie, it looks like, coming together there on the straightaway. Might have been trying to set up for positions on the entry to turn 10, and neither of them wanted their race to start that way. That is rough. Or that was Velasco and Guyton, maybe.
Yeah, that we'll find out who that is Leslie. It might be Leslie and Velasco, as both of those drivers have gone into the pits. Guyton did not. It doesn't even look like he took the start once again. So problems for Guyton as he qualified, but was not able to take the start. We're watching easily one of my favorite camera views off of Braun, Pauly's. He's trying to hold off Corwin and Navas. So right now we have 11 after we qualified 15, but took 14 to the grid as Pauly tries to set his sights on Borden to close in that gap. He's just on the edge, the fringe of the draft. So that's going to make things just a little bit harder. We're going to take a look at a replay here on this incident that we just caught the tail end of it. Yeah, Jesse, the weird place to touch wheels coming out of turn number 9, which really isn't that much of a turn. It's more of a straightaway set up for turn number 11. And yep, just, oh, you hate to see that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure was the maybe Josh can tell me, was the blue and yellow car there? Was that Leslie that moved over? Gosh, it sure looked like yeah, it looked like Leslie kind of put the squeeze on there and caused that contact. It's unfortunate taking both of those cars out. Leslie, as I said, kind of coming on down the stretch here, got a podium finish a couple of races ago, and all eyes were kind of on him as the hot shoe coming out of F4. But it is over for Leslie just as quickly as it has began. So we've lost Thompson, Leslie, and Velasco. And taking a look at Cotcher here, doing a quick avoid. Not sure who he was avoiding there, hitting the grass, but those incidents have led to a couple of hard chargers. And yeah, that is Lebivi washing out of 10B a little bit there. Very, very easy to do as you're anxious to put that power down and make that rush down the pit straight. But couple hard chargers. Borden up 6, Josh Corwin up 5, taking advantage of some of the kerfuffleage that's happened early in this one.
Going out with Case. Case is slowing down going through turn number 9 as Poborgi gets the lead so far, but Case has the line into turn 10. Could have been a case of chicken with Case trying to goad Poborgi and Green into mistakes. They're both about within a second of each other. What a weird thing to happen, as it looks like Case may have gotten a wheel off or had to take a slowdown penalty, because he's a second slower than his best lap, which was a lap ago at a 14.8. But very strange things afoot here.
Yeah, that was a wild sequence, and if Case did manage to pick up a slowdown, he killed it like a boss. That only costing him about 8/10 off of his fast lap, and a little scare there for Case, but Case keeping it frosty and hanging onto that position. In its case from Poborgi, from Jason Green, all 3 of those cars now covered by about 8/10. And here we go onto that back straightaway. Jeremy, the draft definitely going to be going to work for Poborgi. You can watch it over on our STK timing tower. That interval right now sitting at 0.3, and you're going to watch it drop, drop, drop. What is Case going to do? Looks like he's going to try to cover the inside, the outside pass here, doable. And here comes Poborgi. He's looking around the outside. He's got to beat Case to the second apex. Thinks better of it, backs out, but that may have been a test run there. Oh, and he manages to squeeze through under the Fox Factory Bridge side by side, going through turn 12 onto the front straight, and Poborgi gets it done, and that is the move of the race so far in this one.
Look at that, and shots the front door on him going through turn number 1, but Case gonna try and shove that foot back in there to pry it open. Not gonna make it happen through turn number 2. I'll tell you what, that was an absolute boss move by Poborgi, as now Case has to deal with Jason Green. We've seen all Case all the time for all but one race, but could this be the time when Poborgi is able to solve the mystery that is Stephen Case? He's already opened up almost a half a second on Case going into the back straightaway. So it's going to be interesting to see if Case is saving his equipment for later, or if Poborgi actually straight up has something. By the way, Adam Thompson, 14.5. That is the fastest lap of the race, and he's only in 12th spot. As we see the move that Poborgi made, slowed down just a little bit through turn 10, but really was able to get a great run coming up under that Fox Factory Bridge and downhill through 11 and 12.
Yeah, that is the classic, absolute classic move here at Road Atlanta. If you can force your competitor to take a defensive line into 10A, he will blow the exit of 10B, and you can get him on the over and under there right out of turn 12. My absolute favorite move, perfectly demonstrated by Poborgi right there. And Case gets it back, though. It is again Case from Poborgi, from Jason Green, and this is the spicy stuff that I was expecting in the heat race. Didn't see it in that one, but racing looking pretty good right now.
And here's the interesting thing, too. In spite of these two kind of battling with one another, they've opened up a gap to Jason Green. He's 7/10, 8/10 of a second behind Poborgi, so now starting to lose that draft, but it's given Adrian Lopez some life to possibly get on that bottom step of the podium. We're 7 minutes in. We've already had some fantastic racing here as, yeah, this battle for the lead heating up once again, and Poborgi closing in on Case. And Case is going to take that. I think he's going to take that defensive line through turn number 9, and it's going to happen once again. Podiums gets the job done a little bit earlier, but Case is going to get back on the brakes just a little bit harder, set himself up, and that's what's going to compromise that exit and compromise the run going down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Case that time, you saw what he did there. Wily, Stephen Case kind of got in the way and closed the door on that over-under move that Podiums got him on last time, and the result of that is he's pushed Podiums back into Jason Green. Green's got only about a 0.3 gap forward to Podiums, so Podiums' attention off Case, now driving in his rearview mirror, looking at Jason Green, and oh, by the way, Adrian Lopez now sniffing around within drafting distance of this entire pack, and Lopez looking good, looking racy here, coming off of his first podium, pulled a P3 last weekend at Watkins Glen.
Cotcher's in the pits. So far we have Borden and Guyton. Both of those are out of the race. Velasco had to go into the pits for that crash, but Cotcher, interesting to see him in the pits. Here's a replay. Oh, there's no front wing. That's kind of beneficial to the series when you have both your front and your rear wings. I mean, yes, it is open wheel racing, but it's not open wheel in the sense where your front wheels need to be fully open.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it would certainly keep the jewels cool, and you saw that hydraulic containers there getting some nice open air cooling, but definitely take some of the bite off of those front tires. So Cotcher going in to get a new nose. I'm sure he will be back out there, and up front it is still Case from Podiums, from Green, from Lopez, and Lopez pedaling hard here, doing a great job hanging on to these folks, and Lopez wanting to make something happen, wanting to repeat his first podium of the season from Watkins Glen, and has put himself in very good position to do it. And Jeremy, I gotta say, there's something to be said on a draft heavy track like this, just to bide your time, kind of tuck in behind the competitors ahead, take care of your tires so that your tires are ready to help you out when you need them. And here is a replay of Josh Leslie and that 10A bang into the bridge abutment, and I actually did that today myself, and my gosh, it may be a sim, but I gotta say that one gave me a little bit of a headache. But so easy to go wide right here watching Leslie. You put the hammer down right here, wanting so much to get a good run down that pit straight, a little over rotation into the dirt, and Leslie sends another F3 car into the pits, and man, they're gonna have a yard sale of F3 parts here today. A very rough and tumble race at Road Atlanta.
No, they really are, and you know, that one actually started at turn 10 because he was about 3 to 5 feet off the apex curbing there, and if you do that, that's going to compromise your entry and exit through turn 10B, and of course you bite those curbs and they're going to bite back even harder. And we're back to what we're talking about with the draft. I was thinking just before that too, it's like, you know what, if I'm Podiums, Green, and Lopez, I'm finding a way to catch up to Stephen Case, because if you let him get away, it's going to be race over regardless. We're just under halfway from this race, and unless they can catch up to Stephen Case, all three of them, they're basically going to be stuck where they're at. Yes, Podiums able to catch up in some spots, and we did see him make that move for the lead in turn 1, but man, Case is just too good, and even on his own, he's able to really make an assault and, you know, chip away at how big that lead is. So yeah, Podiums, Green, and Lopez, they all need to think about how they're going to get to one another, because now Green is about 1 second behind Podiums outside of that draft.
Yeah, and you're right. Case absolutely showing his talents here in these F3 cars, getting his work done without the benefit of the draft. Podiums still hanging on, looking at about a 0.4 right now. Podiums driving very well and is a gamer, as you saw, but can you sustain it throughout the whole 25 minutes, and can you make a move happen down the stretch? And Jeremy, we haven't talked about it yet, but I'll tell you, tire degradation, definitely a thing in these F3 cars. 25 minutes, just long enough to expose those people who have not cared for their tires throughout the course of the race. And we are going to see that probably with about 5 to 10 minutes remaining in the races, kind of the witching hour for tires. and we'll see fronts wearing out and people washing out on entry. We'll see people struggling to put the power down due to rear tire wear. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that witching hour going to start here probably within the next 10 minutes or so. And I've got a couple of replays for you too. There's some action taking place throughout the grid. We'll see what happens this time though with Poborgy and Case. Case covering the inside again, going to give Poborgy the outside look and see if Poborgy can get that over under going this time. Case unable to slam the door in his face that time through, but no change there. And looking at the 37 car, that is Corwin right there threading the needle going down the inside. That looks like Lebivy is with him there, or no, that's David Borden. That's lap traffic actually. And oh my goodness, and Cotcher might have gotten Cotch there trying to get through lap traffic. Not sure what happened, but looked like a car rotating in front of him there.
Look, I know that they made that inner loop there for Formula Drift, but you don't need to replicate it. And you talk about tire equity. Yeah, these Hankook tires are absolutely fantastic for these F3 cars, but at the same time, they will wear out quick, and that is what makes junior Formula racing so fun. We're watching the 55 of Josh Leslie. That's a replay of him going yard and losing two of the corners of the car. So you don't want to hit that too hard. And I guess Joshua really likes showing that as Case this time gets another good lineup to defend off of Poborgy, but Poborgy all over that rear attenuator of Stephen Case. He's going to try and go high, wide, and hands him off of turn 12. Thinks better of it. And here's the thing, Poborgy's going to have the speed through turn 1, but Case is going to try and hold him off on the inside of turn 1. Look at that. I think the Case went full throttle around turn 1 just to hold off Poborgy because those tires are at their prime right now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Poborgy kind of throwing away the draft there. Case moved inside to break the draft down the pit straight, and Poborgy stayed out in dirty air instead of tucking behind. I really think Poborgy might have had a crack on the pass into turn 1 had he taken advantage of the draft coming down the pit straight, and maybe he'll won't fall for that next time. But Case, so crafty and so cool, calm, and collected, and that is why he's taken 10 out of 11 P1s here in Sim Racers Group Formula 3 so far this season right now, with 10 minutes remaining, looking to make it 11 out of 12.
Watching Varun Bali, and Bali getting a pass over Jason Cotcher. And we watched earlier a pass that Adam Thompson made. He has made up several positions since the jump start and the drive-through penalty. He's sitting right now in 9th place, has his eyes set on 8th with Novice up ahead, as Jason Green closing in on Adrian Lopez after he got around for that bottom step of the podium. Lopez opening up a 1 to 2 car length gap through turn number 1. Let's take a look at that replay. And once again, turn 10 decides to play mayhem as you see Lopez, and Poborgy's gone to the lead. Poborgy's gone to the lead with Case falling back just a little bit.
Wow, something happened with Stephen Case. We'll go back and try to find out what that was. Poborgy about 9/10 ahead of him here, kind of all of a sudden.
Whoa!
And there he is. You see Case on the escape road. Case went wide through turn 1 into the grass and will fall to P2. And right now, Poborgy has got to pedal, and get away from Stephen Case. He's got that gap at 1 second, which is right where he wants it. And now Case has got Adrian Lopez all over him. Lopez just having gained his possible second consecutive podium position, currently sitting in P3.
Just wanted to see what the AMA guys do with the when they come to town and use that and decide, it's probably not best not to use that course. But no, what it really looked like was Case is just picking up too much speed through there and got those left side tires off the groove, and that just drug him right off the course. So nonetheless, Case, look at that, 1.1 seconds behind Poborgy, and now Lopez and Green. All those three are trying to, those two I should say, are trying to catch up to Stephen Case and maybe push him off the podium of his own doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it sounds like we may have another replay of Adam Thompson's day going from bad to worse. And yet again, he's going to follow Josh Leslie. Keeps it out of the concrete, but goes wide on that exit at turn 10, over rotates by touching the grass right there. And again, so easy to do. The beginning of that front straightaway is actually in 10A, where you've got to put the hammer down and get it down early to get a fast lap out here. And Thompson caught out again. And taking a look at Jason Green now. Green wants to get that position back from Lopez. Lopez completely leaving the inside open. Green propelling himself back into P3. And those gaps up front, my goodness, look at that, Jeremy. Poborgi has got a 1.2 second gap back to Case, who has 1.2 second gap back to Jason Green. So Poborgi looking like he may be able to beat Case here fair and square. The last time Case lost, he kind of crashed out of that Olton race and wasn't really a competition aside from driving around his wreckage on the side of the road. So Poborgi really showing up here at Road Atlanta, taking it to Stephen Case. And if he can hang on for about 7 more minutes, he will have put in one hell of a drive.
First of all, it's not uncommon to crash at Olton. Come on, let's just be real here. That is a very tough race course. But second of all, I want to go back to that Green Lopez pass in turn 10, because one thing that I liked that Green really did, take a look at this. Okay, so you see the draft. Now, watch after he pops out. Not only does he pop out, but also does a pinch to kind of stave off any sort of pass around that Lopez may do here going into turn 12. Absolutely textbook pass there.
Yeah, great racecraft there by Green. He is the highest rated driver on the grid right now, sitting about a 4.2 for open wheelers. So Green definitely knows how to wheel these things in. You're absolutely right. Completely put the squeeze on Lopez, prevented him from working that magical 10A, 10B switchback that we saw Poborgi put on Case earlier. And not to beat a dead horse, my absolute favorite move here at Road Atlanta. And look at those gaps right now. Looks like Case has managed to reel in Poborgi a little bit now. Has got that gap down to about 0.5. And you know that Poborgi, with Stephen Case behind, is driving in his rearview mirror. Can he hang on here? About 5.5 minutes remaining. And as I said, this is the witching hour for tires. The drivers who have not taken care of their tires, who have overpushed throughout the preceding 20 minutes, are going to be exposed here down the stretch.
And you don't want to be exposed. And now we get to see if Poborgi is one of those drivers, because that 1 second lead now down to 0.3 of a second with Case closing in that draft. He's getting sucked right into it, but still too far away to make anything happen. So now Poborgi needs to hold the nose to the grindstone, and with the remaining 5 minutes in this race, has to go through and try and hold off the fast charging champion to be Stephen Case. As Case looks to the inside, gets in those mirrors of Poborgi, something you want to do, but I have a feeling that Poborgi's not going to fall for that. He'll try and keep going, but it's going to be interesting to see if Case, his altered lines that I've seen over the past couple of quarters, see if that's going to affect him. Right now, it's really not. He's holding steady over Poborgi about 2 to 0.3 of a second, and it's going to be interesting to see if Case can get inside the head of our leader.
Well, I'll tell you what, Stephen Case massively breathed the throttle down the pit straight that time. No interest in making a move here with about 4 minutes remaining. So it may very well be, we'll watch what he does here. Watch that gap. It's under 0.2 now, approaching 0.1. Is Case going to make a move here? Or is he going to breathe it and save it for the last lap? That's the kind of game of leapfrog that frequently happens here at Road Atlanta. Case is going to make that move to take the lead. But my gosh, with only 2 or 3 laps remaining, you got to wonder whether you're better off waiting for the last lap to make that move for the lead. If Poborgi can stay with him, Case could be a sitting duck on the last lap, and it'll be fascinating to see how this one unfolds. This, folks, the closest interval that is remaining on the track right now is the 1/10 separating Stephen Case in P1 from Poborgi in P2.
Yeah, I think Paborgi's car just came alive in the past couple of laps. As we saw, led those past couple laps getting around Stephen Case after Case went off course into the motorcycle section, but still hanging tough. 0.2 of a second separate Case from Paborgi. So Paborgi's still within that draft zone going into turn number 6. Now sets up for 7. Now sets up for turn number 8 down this back straightaway. Still close enough to suck into that draft, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move going into turn number 10 unless, Case lets off, but or the draft just has that much of a magical effect. It really could. I don't know. I can't see the error. I'm not Dale Earnhardt.
But yeah, you can definitely see that interval dropping. Paborgi picked up about 0.3 just on that back straight between 7 and 10A there. But as I said, Paborgi may be biding his time here. It's certainly what I would be thinking about. I would not want to be in P1 with Stephen Case behind me on the last lap. Now Paborgi showing his nose on the inside of turn 1. Case did the same thing to him when he was behind. And so Paborgi wanting to remind Case that he's there. Look at him hammer this thing over turn 3. Such a blast in these cars, and time ticking down here. This could be the penultimate lap right now. And man, I really got to say, if I was Paborgi, I would just wait until the last lap, pounce into turn 10, and take the win in the last couple of corners.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on here as we see some of the moves that Paborgi has made over the past couple of laps after Case took the lead once again. As, once again, Paborgi well within that draft zone, but still too far away to make something happen during turn number 10. This might be the white flag lap coming down the stretch. See, they're doing 114s, 115s. So yeah, it definitely will be, because it'll be past 23:45. They might come down to the line right around 24 minutes. So it will be the last lap once the field comes down turn number 12. As Paborgi, we've seen how good he's been. He's been able to close in on Case, one of the few to do it. There's Barney with the white flag, 1 lap to go. And sorry, it's bugging me with the visor strip. I'd be cleaning that right about now, but that's not what Stephen Case is worried about. He sees it in his mirrors that he's got an orange Formula 3 car right behind him that wants that lead.
Yeah, last lap underway here. It is Case from Paborgi. Green and Lopez still lingering around in the background, but the race right now between P1 and P2, Paborgi has got that gap down to about 0.2. He has got Stephen Case right where he wants him right now as they enter turn 6. A little short run here. Turn 7, the exit right here. So critical. If you've got to have saved your tires to put that power down. And look at Paborgi all over Stephen Case like the plastic on Grandma's couch. What is Paborgi going to do? Case moving over here early, and maybe by design to deny Paborgi the draft. They're going to go side by side into turn 10, and Case may have shown his racecraft right there. Moving over early, denying the draft may seal the victory for Case, and it will. Case comes into 10A out of 10B in P1, and what a move by Stephen Case. It looked like a non-move, but I'm telling you folks, that is what prevented Paborgi from picking up the draft. Paborgi fell for it, and Stephen Case has won again. That is 10 out of 11 P1s for Stephen Case. Here come Green and Lopez. Very game. Great work, particularly by Lopez, hanging for that with that front group for the bulk of that race. And here comes Josh Corwin. Tip of the hat to Josh, despite that look on his face in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Up 8. Corwin, the hard charger, had some problems in the heat, started in P14, worked his way all the way up into P6, and here comes Navas, Bali, and Thompson. Looks like he is still on the lead lap. Did Bali get across the finish line? He had some kind of problem there exiting turn 12. But man, oh man, what a fantastic race with those front runners. I think Paborgi had a shot at that one, and he may be kicking himself over a couple of strategic decisions that unfolded down the stretch, and Case absolutely showing his racecraft and showing how he is dominating. English is hard. You're right about that, Jeremy. How he has dominated the F3 series here for Sim Racers Group this season. Great stuff from Stephen Case.
Yeah, no, it really was a fantastic race. Yeah, Paborgi probably going to come back in the pits and wonder what could have been done, should have been done to keep the pressure on Case or to get out there and really have a good race. And to be fair, Poborgi with the fastest lap of the race of 14.223. So great racing regardless. And Jason Green coming back up and taking that bottom step of the podium. That was absolutely fantastic. So really, in spite of the field getting strung out, it was absolutely great racing as Stephen Case decides to make us some donuts.
Yeah, and that Case, Green, and Poborgi, that is 25 podiums between those three. So they have absolutely been the class of F3 competition in this second season of Sim Racers Group F3. And what a great season it has been as we watch Stephen Case roast off those rear tires to thank them for being there for him, exiting turn 7 down the stretch when he needed them. But let's go ahead and get those results up for you. And looks like we have a couple of folks waiting in the interview room as well, and we will get to them directly. But there are your results after a fantastic display of driving out here this evening. It is Stephen Case with the victory over Danush Poborgi. Jason Green will round out your podium in P3. Then it's Adrian Lopez, game but couldn't quite hang on down the stretch. Justin Snyder will round out the top 5. Josh Corwin, as I said, up 8 is your hard charger to finish in P6. Labivy in 7. Jose Navas in P8. Bali in 9. Adam Thompson, after having about every kind of difficulty imaginable befall him in both races, squeaks into the top 10. Then it's Velasco, Cotcher, Leslie, and David Borden Guyton not taking the start. And let's just go ahead and bring in your winner. And Stephen Case, welcome back to the broadcast booth. And fantastic stuff out there today, and really some great racecraft by you. And you've shown it time and time again. It's not just about pace. It's about keeping your head on your shoulders and thinking strategy. And I'll tell you, coming down that back straight for the last time, you moved left immediately, took the draft away from Poborgi, and he kind of fell for it. He just kind of sat out there, not taking advantage of the draft at all, and that allowed you to hang on to the victory. So great stuff. Danush might be kicking himself a little bit later on, but tell us a little bit about your race tonight at Road Atlanta.
Oh man, that was a blast. That was the first race in a while. I had so much fun with Danush. That was great. Yeah, that last straight was. I knew it was coming. I'm like, man, I gotta close up the gap between him so he can't get the run, because like otherwise he's gonna get a huge run. It's either got to be like 0.4, 0.5 seconds or right on my butt for it to work. So I knew I wasn't going to create a gap, so I closed the gap a little bit up, and that worked out.
Yeah, and he had you down to about 2/10 coming out of turn 7, but couldn't really do anything with it down the back straight. So really, again, great racecraft, great driving, and obviously you have got an absolute stranglehold on P1, both in the individual and team. And let me take a quick look. Where are we going next time? Oh yeah, the finale. Yeah, finale at Okayama probably brings up some PTSD for some of us who remember our rookie Miata days. But any thoughts about Okayama and in kind of the bigger picture? Why don't you just talk to us a little bit about this season? It's only the second season of F3, and kind of how it's been driving with this great group of drivers with Sim Racers Group.
Oh, yeah, it's been great. I mean, especially seeing everyone improve in these cars. I think we started off with a little bit more chaos than we do now. I think everyone's chilled out a little bit and learned some patience, because these cars are, they're like one of our contestants. It's made of Legos, and they pop apart pretty easily.
Yeah, and that car stayed together uncharacteristically today. We had a little Lego joke during the broadcast, and that was all that car needed to keep all of its parts on today. So, all right. Well, again, congratulations, Stephen, on a great season. It's not over yet, but might as well be. You could take next week off and still win the championship. So, fantastic work. Comp Goal Collective, consistent. Got it done for you. And as we wrap up, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to today?
I'd like to thank Danush for giving me a great battle. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great to watch, and we'll go ahead and have him in here next. So thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, that was your winner, Stephen Case. And Jeremy, here is Danush Paborji, who showed up game but could not quite knock Case off of his high horse today.
No, sadly not.
I say if wishes and butts were candy and nuts, so we'd all be happy and full. But Danush, I gotta say this: you were the one driver who was able to take Stephen Case and really give him a little bit of a hard time. You capitalized on his mistake, but it was just all for naught. He was just too good, too fast. Regardless, second place, and you gotta hang your hat on the fastest lap of the race at a 14.223. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll take that, even though that was a draft lap. So, but fast lap is fast lap. But yeah, it was good. Case is fast, of course. It was good going back and forth, and then finally have some time to practice. So, a little closer to Case.
Yeah, that does help. But of course, let's talk about your race. You know, at first I thought, okay, we're going to see a runaway Stephen Case race again, but you're able to catch up to him several times during the race. How much of a confidence booster was that?
It was pretty good. I mean, I struggled last season, and then I got on top of the brakes, which is my biggest problem. So to be closer to every race towards the end of this season is good.
Yeah, nonetheless, talk about that also, that part in the race where Stephen Case decided, hey, I'm going to try the motorcycle line through the S's.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was definitely a butt pucker. And then I was just like, Case, just let's go. Let's put some gap between me and Green because we're close in the championship, but it worked out. So I was a little scared.
Yeah, nonetheless, it was a fantastic race between the two of you. I thought, there were a couple times you'd get them around turn 12 because it seems like that high line was working for some drivers, but nonetheless, it was an absolutely fantastic race. Watching you go toe-to-toe. Next up is Okayama. What are your thoughts going into that race?
Ooh, it's a narrow track. It's going to be a little tough. So pretty much just survive, and I think he'll do good. So that's about it.
Danush, congratulations. A fantastic race, a valiant effort, and go get ready for the next week.
Thanks. Thank you, guys, and SRG.
That was Danush Paborji, and JR, you've got our third place driver.
Do I? I don't think I do.
Or do you?
I don't think I do. I don't think Jason has joined us today, but we do have Daniel Lebivy, who finished in P7 up 3. Pretty good drive, Daniel, and you were in some scraps, man, and you got some airtime in the broadcast today. A lot of good battling all around you. So did you have a good time out there today?
Oh yeah, it's always fun racing around against everyone and just trying to avoid all the chaos around me.
Yeah, keeping it clean, definitely key out here. And so this is the second ever season of Sim Racers Group Formula 3. You and your fellow drivers are kind of getting this F3 car under you, learning to be fast, learning to be safe in them. So just talk to me a little bit about how that has been kind of growing as drivers with the rest of this F3 field this season.
Biggest thing is closing up the gap to the front of the pack. So from being outside of top 10 to trying to be consistently inside of it. Getting used to a different car, especially when normally I drive 10 tops, like those a little bit more. But definitely getting used to it, learning more and more, just probably get some more seat time, and excited to see how everyone's growing and looking forward to next season.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm a sports car driver as well, and you can tell me if you agree, but the toughest thing for me is just gaining confidence of what these cars are capable of. It sometimes seems like magic, especially at a track like this, what you can get away with in this F3 car compared to like a GT3 car, and that kind of takes some getting used to.
Yeah, the biggest one is when it lets go, it lets go. There's, the odds of you saving a GT3 car or saving one of these cars are two very different practices, and you have to find the sweet spot, and the only way you get to figure it out is by driving them more.
Yeah, absolutely. It is all about the seat time. And all right, Daniel, well, congratulations. Good drive today as you gain your open wheel skills and push your way deeper into the top 10. So congratulations on that. Thanks for coming by. And as we wrap up, is there anyone you'd like to thank or give a shout out to today?
Thanks. Shout out to Jason as normal. I'm actually at SRG today, so I got to come by, take a look at everything, and then be back home for the final round.
Oh, excellent, excellent. All right, yeah, it's pretty cool setup down there. I had to see it myself, so cool that you got to drive down there and match some faces to some names. So, well, thank you, Daniel, for stopping by. Congratulations again, and we'll see you next week at Okayama.
See you next week.
All right, Jeremy, and last but not least, the captain, our fearless leader, owner of Sim Racers Group, Jason Cotcher.
Yeah, Jason, first of all, 12th place. It was a little bit of a rough race for you. I think at one point we saw you trying a new setup called wingless front racing, but nonetheless, a fantastic race here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, hey guys, happy Wednesday night. Thanks for having me. Yeah, Atlanta is tough, man. It's so fast. I was in practice like 2 seconds down, and then it was like, okay, maybe this is a fifth gear corner, and then it's stuck, and then it was like, okay, maybe this is fifth gear, no lift, and then it's stuck, and it was just every time I thought this is crazy, this is never going to work, it's stuck again. So not my favorite circuit, just not one that I've got a whole lot of practice on, and it's so brave, it's so fast, it's so blind, and the F3 cars are just so much faster again. So yeah, just trying to survive out there. I had a decent sprint race, and then just whatever that last right-hander is before the long straightaway, again, blind. I mean, whoever designed this circuit thought it would be funny if the drivers couldn't see where they were going, obviously. And so I didn't get off of there real well. Corwin came through, was going to be 3 wide. I backed out. Borden was fighting him and got crossed up over the exit curbing, which is so easy to do. And then there was really, I was already on the gas. There wasn't anywhere for me to go. I got on the brakes, but these front wings on these things are made of paper mache, and I'm just glad it wasn't real, because poor David went in there to that bridge and abutment pretty hard. And I love racing with that guy. We had it clean for a couple of laps. Good battle, but not the best result for both of us. I love racing Corwin too, but tongue in cheek, maybe I blame him for this one.
Oh, that's nothing wrong about that. And that's what you mentioned about, Road Atlanta. It's a high commitment course. You gotta have the stones to race there. And that's just the part of the fun, part of the allure of this facility. All right, we talked to a couple drivers. Next week is Okayama, a little bit more narrow course, but at least you can see the sight lines through there.
Yeah, I love that place. I was really disappointed when the schedule came out. I won't be here next week. I've got a tradition with my friend. I'm going to go see my favorite hockey team play the San Jose Sharks here locally. We've been to that event about 20 times or so. So I'm going to leave the captaincy in the hands of Lieutenant Tyler Hagan. Shout out Tyler for manning the shop for me, so I can go play and go do other things. But yeah, that should be a great race. Super fun track, lots of passing opportunities, good sight lines, as you said. And yeah, I love that. I love that place. If I had any pull at iRacing, I would have swapped Atlanta for Okayama those last 2 weeks of the season and skipped this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. You know what? I can't tell you how many times I've heard drivers say, well, I'd rather have this track than that track, but it's just the fun of racing. Thanks for joining us, and yeah, enjoy your week of watching men skate around an ice rink.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Quick shout out to Stevie Ray. I got a chance to watch that turkey shoot earlier tonight. I just wanted to say that was a clever use of the officiating. I've never seen anything like that before. And I'll poke Adam Thompson. He himself said that was the worst commentary he had ever had before. I have to agree with that guy. That was terrible. No, I love to tease the SMB guys. I mean, you guys are amazing every week, every time. We're so fortunate to have you. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Wishing everybody a safe, joyous holiday break. And Stephen Case is already champion of F3. Adam Duvall wrapped up the championship of F4, but all the way down the list. I mean, we've said before, it doesn't matter if you're battling for second or 22nd. There's a guy out there you want to beat. So wrap up 2025 season 4 next week and on to a new.
Well said. Jason Cotcher finishing 12th, joining us here on the broadcast. Thanks for sitting down with us for a couple seconds.
Happy holidays, guys. Cheers. Catch you next time.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap it for today, folks. But what I want you to do is go ahead and subscribe to Slow Motion Broadcasting and hit that notification icon so that you don't miss any of the action. And we are not just about these fantastic open wheelers here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. This weekend, our Weekend Warriors Formula Vs will visit Okayama Saturday, and our Weekend Warriors Sunday doubleheader will feature Formula Fords at Lebanon, Spec Racer Fords at Jerez. Also Sunday, XSLR competition at Lucas Oil Motorsports something or other, which I didn't write down. I didn't write down the rest of that one. Next Tuesday, the SRG F3 season finale will be at Barber, and as we said, 1 week from tonight, the SRG F3 finale will be at Okayama for this season. So I am J.R. Gregory. On behalf of myself, my partner Jeremy Scott, our producer Joshua Wilkie, and everyone here at SMB, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the day wherever you are. And if you're celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow, enjoy your friends, family, and the long weekend. Don't forget to take a moment to say out loud and share with your loved ones everything you have to be thankful for. Thanks again, and we'll see you real soon.